Welcome everybody to Hire Moment Mastermind. I'm Shira Lotzar, happy to be your host, and Vern Schellinger, my co-host, and we are here to answer your job search questions. And Elizabeth was just sharing with us about her recent experience in looking for a reading specialist job, and that she wants to go into the charter school system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you have contacts in that world?
I do, but nothing seems to be developing from that.
So just yesterday, I met somebody who comes from that place. She's actually a charter school executive. Yeah. So she used to work for one of those organizations. So if you could send me a note.
Yes.
I will put you in touch. Her name is Heidi.
Heidi. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, the other thing about what Elizabeth was sharing, Shira, while you were kind of off, was, the interview was a sales development position. But as she got into the interview, she also talked about how much she really wants to, be in the classroom. And obviously she said, cutting my throat in terms of the sales position job. But the point being, it really has given you clarity around exactly what you want to do. And as to you, and you said, I really need to focus on this because this is what I really want to do. And that's actually really helpful in the job search.
Hugely important. Yeah. When you get some focus, right? So everybody knows what you want.
Yeah.
I have an interview Tuesday too, so I'm excited about that. I have to do a test, and I actually have a friend whose partner in the Linda Mood Bell processing learning has taken the test and said it was very stressful. So, okay, I'll do my best to prepare and just trust for it and show up and see what happens. So that's on Tuesday. I'm so grateful to be interviewing so much.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hard to get an offer without the interview unless you really know somebody in high places.
It's true. All right. Who else has a question or an update? And sorry for my picture here. For those of you who are just joining, I'm having a little something going on with the bottom of my Zoom box. So anyway, all right. Who's got a question for us? Ty.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I talked to a friend last night in networking, and she interviewed in the fall. Her job offer didn't come till the spring. She just dropped out of sight, and she thought that, hey, they forgot about her. She gets called in the spring, gets a job, and this was a government job. Just some encouragement there for everybody.
Yeah. And sure, I believe that's kind of common within the government. Yeah, I remember this was a long time ago, but a client I was working with, her husband applied for a government job, and literally it was a year later when they offered him the job. And he says, "I'm already employed." Forgot all about it almost. So government works differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Who else has got something going on? Karen, any updates? Anything you'd like to share or ask questions about?
No, not that I know of, but it was nice to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Did you enjoy the JCA Career Gateway?
It was a good review. I took it because I thought I needed a review, and
Yep.
It was good. I actually just got out of it this week, so I'm still, getting my stuff together. So
It's a good program, from what I understand.
it was a good program, and it just, like I said, I took it just to review everything. Anyway.
Doesn't hurt. you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. And, I'm back to networking again and, meeting people and that type of thing. And I always find my leads come in the strangest places.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Yeah.
I went on a job fair yesterday from the fairy god boss. Somebody sent it to me and literally talked to several companies, one-on-one. It was just kind of a shock.
Yeah, in terms of, let me share this, and Ing is not on the call today. But listen to how, again, this is the power of human connection. So this is contacts count. Someone on LinkedIn connected with me, and I connected with him because he had a lot of mutual connections, most of which he didn't really know. But he introduced me to a woman named Colleen, and I'm blanking on her last name. And I said, well, how do you know Mark? And she says, I don't know Mark, but I think he was in one of my presentations or one of my sessions. I said, okay. So I talked to Colleen about contacts count. She introduced me to Sean South, who is the president and CEO of a company that helps nonprofits and associations in fundraising. And I sent him Ing's resume because she's got a background in that. And then he sent it to his membership director, Rita, and I don't remember her last name, but Rita emailed me, thanks so much for this. She said, I'll reach out to Ing. And so I don't know where that's going to go. But the fact of the matter is that chain of events, maybe there's, a possibility for Ing to, get an interview somewhere with one of their members or somebody in that world. So to Cher's point, you just never know where an opportunity might come from.
I normally find jobs through people I know, and they come in the weirdest ways. So,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, someone you would never think you meet, and next thing you know, they have a job for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that 84% of all jobs are gotten through personal networking. I mean, that's just been a long time statistic.
What are you looking at, Karen?
Oh, I have a background in technology and I like to work as a project manager. In the past, I was a sales rep doing high-end sales for actually directly to phone companies. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades. And most recently, I was working as a trainer for the Maryland Board of Elections. And I really enjoyed that, kind of surprised me. And I've done it for 3 years now, off and on. The election is not a full-time job. So I would not be adverse to doing some training as well.
Wow.
So,
Would you want to say, well, you probably have a lot of contacts in the election world. I happen to
not
have
really. Shira set me up with this really lovely man, and we had a discussion way beyond my capabilities, but he was very interesting to talk to.
Wow, because I could reach out to my friend. Actually, it's her husband who's in that world, if you'd like me to.
I would love to talk to them.
Okay.
I will put my email address on chat.
Great.
See, there you go. You never know who you're going to meet.
It is true. Diana?
Yeah, here I have a question to get your sense of what's the best approach when you have interviewed for a position and it's something that is an excellent match and everything went well. And you notice that there is someone who's connected on LinkedIn to one or more people in that organization. What's your suggestion as to how you might, approach that person who is your colleague and is also connected to some other people who might be helpful for some sort of a recommendation, something that might give you a lift up?
I want to
a
give you
leg up.
I'm going to give you a real live example of that. Okay. So a number of years ago, I was that person through whom somebody was trying to connect. Okay. So there was a guy named Barry. He was a colleague, actually right in this job search kind of world. That's how I knew him. And he found out he had an interview with an organization, and the CEO's name was Mike. Okay, so my colleague Barry interviewed with a guy named Mike, and on LinkedIn, Barry found out that I knew Mike, right, or saw that I was connected. What Barry did not know is that Mike was actually a client. Actually, he's still a client, interestingly enough. But like, I knew Mike. Like, I actually placed people at his organization. Like, I really, really knew Mike. And so again, he had already had a first level interview. So he reached out to me on LinkedIn. He says, "Hey, Shira, I just interviewed with Mike. Can you put in a good word for me?" I said, "Sure." So I did. I reached out to Mike. I said, "Hey, I understand you met with Barry, and just want to put in a good word for him, blah, blah, blah." Mike writes me back and he goes, "Shira, I'm so glad to hear from you. I really trust your opinion. Thank you for this." Barry got the job. Now, I'm not saying it was 100% me, but you never know, right? Like, that recommendation. And
I
in
love
fact-
success stories.
In fact, I'm going to go one step further. As it happened, like a week later, after I'd written this note, I saw Mike at a networking event, and Mike comes over to me, arm around the shoulder. "Hey, can we talk about Barry?" That's actually the PS to the story. And he did, he got the job. So my point is that, yes, you can do that. And I would recommend that, and just say to your colleague, right, "Hey, I just interviewed with so-and-so, understand you're connected. If you feel comfortable, would you mind putting in a recommendation for me to help advance my candidacy?"
Yeah.
But what about if,
Diana, the other thing is how strong is your relationship with your colleague? And then
Yes, that's right.
how well do they know the hiring manager? Because that has an impact on the type of communication you actually make. In other words, if your contact really doesn't know the person that well, to Shira's point, she knew Mike. She knew, and so
Right.
Mike trusted her.
Right.
When Shira said,
exactly,
Mike Berry, he's a great guy. He trusted her, and as a hiring manager, when you know somebody really well and they're really recommending a person, that really is a leg up for that person. So you just, Shira, you can add to your thoughts there in
Yeah.
terms of communication.
You absolutely, that's right. And because remember, there's two different sides to all of this, right? There's your relationship with the person, and then there's their relationship with the person. Two different things. So hopefully,
yeah,
right, hopefully you have a trusted enough relationship with your colleague that they would want to do you a favor, and that they know you well enough, frankly, to recommend you. And then hopefully they have a good enough relationship with the Mike, right? To do so. That's the ideal. Now, of course, it could be, lesser relationships on both sides, but you can try. And you can do,
Right.
and Dana, you can do with multiple people. It doesn't just have to be one. If you've got 5 people who are connected to Mike, reach out to
for
multiple.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that isn't the case. That would be wonderful. Yeah. My recollection is that it is not that much of a dotted line to that one person, but the person is connected to other people in the organization. So it's a bit remote, but as you said, you can try.
Yeah.
So,
Never know.
yeah, that's exactly right. Well, thank you. Appreciate that input.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. All right. Other folks who've got questions. We're a small crowd today. Or any success stories, or anything, we can go back around the room and do the networking thing again. I know we've been doing that a little bit informally right now. Why don't we just do it?
Could I say something first?
Sure.
I was talking with a friend of mine in Texas, and she's actually helping her mother right now. But when she gets back home, she was talking about how she really needs to look for work. And she's quite a bit younger than I am, but I was telling her about our group and how much I love our group, and very supportive, and this, that, and the other. And so she said, "I can't imagine a job search group that I would love. Like, tell me more." So she may be coming into the group as well when she gets back from her mom. So I told her we had a gentleman from China last week, and so anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there.
Good. We're happy to have him. Thanks,
Yeah.
Elizabeth. Yeah, feel free to refer your friends. I mean, we've got room. Hi.
I'd just like to throw this out. I was at a job fair this week and Karen might have been there. The Worksource Montgomery says, you know, they plan on hiring a bunch of people that apparently they must have got new government contracts or whatever. Just throw that out there for people that might be in that area. I'm not sure what they'll be looking for right now. I think they have 3 or 4 jobs on their website, but I guess they're I shouldn't say I guess, but they are a nonprofit group that basically puts their hand on the pulse of jobs in Montgomery County. They run the 2 job centers, I guess, in Wheaton and Germantown, and also they, I guess, do studies and just keep an eye on the job situation and the economy. Would that be an accurate description for anybody that knows what they do?
Are they like a one-stop?
In terms of job, I would say so because of the job centers, American job centers that they have.
Sounds like a one-stop.
It'll be like one stop, I would think. But they've done like studies on the employment situation, how many people are unemployed, how many people are disabled and need help with work, how many people that need second chances. They have a whole strategic plan, but the comment was made on the job fair, we're going to be hiring a bunch of people, just anybody that's in that area.
Are they funded by Montgomery County funds or Maryland state funds?
Yes.
Or
Yes, yeah, it comes through,
Okay.
through government, yes.
So they're trying to help from an economic development standpoint. Obviously, it's good for people to get hired and have a job, and if employers are looking for people, then yeah, makes sense.
Shira, you probably know the speaker. She was Jan Abraham. You've met Jan over the past
have.
years, haven't you? So
I have.
Jan just landed at Workforce Development.
Yep. I actually just connected with her again. Yep. Yeah, I remember meeting her in different. She's just been in this.
Kind of like me.
For sure. The small world, for sure. All right. Other thoughts? Oh, do you guys just want to do some networking now again? Just go around the room, unless you have another question. All right. So let's just do. I know we've already been dabbling in this today, but we'll just go back over it. So people on my screen are Ty, Diana, Karen, Scott, Elizabeth, and then Sil, I know that you're joining us. I know that you are gainfully employed, and I know sometimes you show up here just to learn stuff. I don't think you're looking for a job, but if something has changed, you can certainly let us know. Ty, you want to share again what you're looking for?
Good morning. Of course, my name is Ty. I'm looking for an area of customer service. I just want to help people. Over my career, I've had some higher level jobs, but I want to have the touch, the contact with customers. Most recently looking into the area of helping people get jobs, that type of thing, job search, those types of positions. Willing to pivot into other areas. At this point, I've looked in the association world and decided that's not where I need to be. So I'm just looking where some hands-on customer contact. As a matter of fact, in a recent networking meeting, I was asked that, well, why don't you go back into communications? Because I spent the majority of my career in communications, but I don't want to do that. I want to do hands-on contact with clients and help them.
Thanks, Ty. Diana?
Yeah, I'm a strategic communications consultant, and the focus that I have been using has been for the area in terms of my search, health and wellness, because of all the areas I have worked in, energy and defense department over the years, my true love and passion is health and wellness. So that's been my focus. And I'm the person that
would be unmuted soon, guys.
Can you hear me?
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Mention again, you're talking about health and wellness?
Yeah. So what I bring to an organization is the ability to give them more visibility for their audiences and their stakeholders through articles and case studies and website content and anything else they need, which projects their messages to their audiences or their customers that they want to do business with, to increase their visibility and to also increase their profitability. So I'm looking either in the government as well as private sector, and both have come up recently in terms of people I've interviewed with My preference actually would be right now the private sector, because I've spent a lot of time learning generative AI, delving into it, because it is not only you've heard me talk about this here before, and I won't take too much time, but it is now, it is not the future, in terms of the ability to do things more effectively in the position that you might be. That's writing a blog, writing an ebook, whatever it might be. It's an amazing program. And, and I don't know that the government has really adapted it, but as I interview and talk with people in the private sector, I'm trying to bring those skills to the fore, because I think they're really essential now as we all go forward. So that's what I'm looking for.
So it's interesting, Diana, just yesterday I was on LinkedIn, and there are a lot of people talking about AI, right? And ChatGPT and stuff. And there was a little post or something that was talking about what are the future jobs that are going to be created because of AI, right? Things like a prompt engineer and things like that, right? Like bunches of jobs of the people who are going to be expert in how to use the technology. That's going to be a job, like a chief AI officer, that kind of thing. So it's just really interesting to see how this is going to play out.
Diana, can you share how you've learned about it, or what you've accessed, or what you've enrolled in?
Absolutely. It's hours and hours of training and dedication. Actually, this is kind of amazing, but there's no other way, because there's so much to learn. And there is a group called Success at AI. I will send it to you, which meets regularly. There are a lot of groups bubbling up now. Some are looking for, membership fees, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm keeping my eye out for those organizations where they're holding regular meetings where they're having discussions like this and bringing in speakers. And so that's and a lot of reading. And of course, there's so many articles. Yeah, it's all kind of self-learning. I'll share, if we have a couple of seconds, this one organization had Joe Vitale as a guest just last week. Joe Vitale is well known. He's written like 100 books, marketing, communications person. And he talked about the 3 things that he thinks about whenever he gets involved in AI. One of them is it authentic, because we hear that it hallucinates, which it does. So you have to be very careful with the facts that get generated from ChatGPT. But he wanted to do a little bit of an experiment with, was it Seneca and Epicurus, having 2 philosophers talk to each other, and what would they say today in terms of having a conversation with each other. So he's put in a few prompts into ChatGPT-4. Now this is the most advanced, and 50 pages later, he had a book. And he said to himself, this is a book. Oh my gosh, this dialogue between the 2 of them about the purpose of humanity, et cetera, et cetera. And he published it. He put a cover on it, and he credited ChatGPT-4 on the cover, but that book has been produced, and it's on Amazon, and he's charging $2.99 for it. So that is like one example of what people are doing with this new program now. It's amazing. And he said, all I did was prompt the heck out of it, meaning that he just kept asking. And the prompting piece is very, very important. I mean, people are, cultivating how to get that right, because you have to keep asking the right questions over and over to refine the questions to get what you need out of it. So it's kind of amazing, but that's one example of how people are using it now. And writing books. The issue becomes who gets the credit. This is really who gets the credit, who is the author. If Chat wrote it, did you?
No.
So, but nevertheless, there's so much going on, because we really won't need as many people in the marketplace with tools like this. So that's
my brother-in-law is a software engineer at Facebook, and he said that he can do with the ChatGPT prompts, literally can do the work of 20 coders with his just the prompts that he's using.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's me.
But again, it's going to generate jobs on the other side of people to learn who know how to use it, like this, what they're calling a prompt engineer, just what Diana was talking about. how to do
Yes.
the right prompts so that it's going to create, just like remember with social media. When we first started, we're like, oh, what's it going to do? Well, now there's social media managers and social media this and that and digital marketers. And so it's creating, I think it's going to create jobs too.
Absolutely.
Ty?
You're on mute,
Ty,
Ty.
you're on mute.
Just a quick comment, it's pulling this information, but where the sources, where's the copyright when it's doing stuff and using information, put it together, whose information is originally? And if they're not giving credit, is that legally okay? Just a thought.
Going to be, I think, a huge topic for the lawyers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So Karen, I know you talked a little bit about what you're looking for. Do you want to kind of formally explain like the kind of jobs that you're looking for and the kind of sectors?
Yeah, I am looking for a project manager job just somewhere in technology. But if you define any company today, they define them as technology companies. So I can't be more specific. But I have dabbled in Chat GPT lately, and I have to say I'm a very novice. And I did get it to do one cover letter. And once I ripped out all the stuff that I didn't do, it wasn't a bad way to write a cover letter. And it was definitely a different approach than I would have taken, but it was interesting.
So there's have you ever met Karen McCann? She used to be, she was on
I
this.
have.
You have, okay, so you know her. Have you networked with her for project management work?
No.
I would. That's clear. That is her space. It's where she plays.
Oh, is it really?
Oh yes, she's a project manager herself, and for many, many years, and is a real great connector. I'd reach out to her.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Scott, I know you put your information in the chat. If there's anything else you'd like to share with us?
I'll do my speed. I'll say my spiel. Sorry about blurting out before I thought it was muted.
That's okay.
Good morning, everybody. Scott Boudreau, Certified Planning Inventory Management. Looking for a supply chain job in central New Jersey or remotely. If it has a part number, I can manage it. If it doesn't, I'll create one. Scott Boudreau.
Thanks. All right, and Elizabeth, I know you're a reading specialist. If you want to go back and over just kind of like your spiel again about what you're looking for.
Yes, I would ideally love to be a reading specialist for students K through 3rd, because students learn to read and then they read to learn. So those are crucial years. And that's pretty much it. I'm looking at charter schools or Christian schools.
Okay, thanks, Elizabeth. And Sil, I know you are gainfully employed. Unless are you looking for a new job now, or is there anything we can do for you? Okay. It's good to see you.
How are things going in the new job?
Sil, you're on mute.
Great so far. I just love it. So yeah, it's been a real blessing.
No, that's great. No.
Good to have you. All right. Any other questions? I mean, we could end really early today if you like. Are there any topics you'd like Vern and I to deep dive into on any job search area? Resumes, recruiters, interview, networking, salary, anything at all?
I have just put the address for the Success Club in chat for everybody who might be interested.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, and just for the record, I haven't gone over the job search groups in the region for a while. I think most of you are aware of them, but I'm just going to tick off my fingers and just stop me if anybody does not know what I'm talking about. So JCA's Career Gateway, Career Confidence, Career Network Ministry through McLean Bible Church, 40 plus. Anybody not know about these groups? I figured you all would. Okay, those are the DC area job seeker groups that are pretty popular. And then I think most of you know that I run another community service program called BoomerWorks, boomerworks.org, for folks who want to transition into, for 50 plus professionals who want to transition into self-employment. All right, just making sure we're covering the bases. Okay, well, look, if we're want to end early, we can do that. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about. Again, happy to do a deep dive. Are we good? All right. All right, great. So we'll just end the call a little early today. And for those of you who'd like to stand for the prayer call, you're certainly welcome to do that. And
Sure, you made me the host, so
oh, I took it back.
you took it back. Okay,
Yep,
all right.
we're good.
Just checking. Okay.
All right, guys. So
Okay.
stand for the prayer call. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Have a good week.